Joining us now from Chicago, senior advisor to President Obama and director of the University of Chicago's Institute of Politics, David Axelrod, Mark Halperin, John Heilman, and Time Magazine's Rana Foroohar are all back at the table. David, good to see you.
Who thinks better at skeet shooting, David or the president?
David, are you a skeet shooter?
I am not a skeet shooter, but I have to tell you, he got asked a question, he answered it. He didn't volunteer. They asked him, have you ever shot a gun?
I'm just asking a question. Why are you so defensive?
Okay, hold on.
I'm just asking you a question.
Hold on, let me please. David.
No, but I'll tell you what, though. I don't understand. They should have put the picture out earlier. I don't know why they waited 5 days to put that out, because it just rekindled the whole story.
Yeah, how about not put it out?
Just don't put it out.
You don't have to. I mean, when the White House is asked to give a picture of something from Camp David, the answer can be no, right? You guys have done that before, right?
It can be, but you know, this thing was, you know, Washington, you guys, this thing was cascading and conspiracy theories, you know, guys like Joe snickering, and you know, you had to do something, but I just think that they should have shut it down earlier, that's all.
You know, I missed what he said, thank you.
It gets off point. Was Alex in your ear?
Yeah, what did he say?
He was in my ear, too.
Did he insult me?
David, you could have told us both to go to hell, and we would have heard it.
He compared me to a Snickers bar.
Oh, you're a Snickers bar.
I might have misunderstood.
I have no idea what that means. So the president's talking about gun control today, or as I like to say, assault weapon control.
Yes.
What's going on?
Well, I think that, you know, you guys, I thought, summed it up right. Joe, you summed it up right in the last segment. I think that, you know, the background check is a 90% issue. It seems to me that that has a good chance to, or a chance to pass.
Right.
I think the magazines is a 65% issue. That has a chance, but a less of a chance to pass. And I think assault weapons is an uphill climb. But there's absolutely no reason why they don't pass or can't pass the background check. I thought Wayne LaPierre articulate case for it 10 years ago, and that case is even more valid today. We live in Chicago, and one of the reasons we have such a huge problem in this city is that all around us are areas with weak laws and with very lax background checks, and a lot of illegal guns flow into this city. So it is a critical issue to get these background checks, and every law enforcement official will tell you that.
You live in Chicago. What's the difference between Chicago and New York City? We obviously have guns coming into New York from a lot of different areas. Something's going on, though, in Chicago that's not going on in Manhattan.
Yeah. I think there are several things. One is the one I just mentioned. In Manhattan, you're surrounded by New Jersey and Connecticut with very strong gun laws. You've got New York State, very strong gun laws. We are surrounded by areas that don't have strong gun laws, and so there is more of an inflow of guns from straw buyers of illegal guns in this city. That's number one. Number two is we have a gang problem here that is more pervasive than other cities. I've always thought it was partly because of the nature of our city. We're a city of wards and parishes. We organize ourselves that way, but there are many, many gangs in the city. I think there are 100 to 150,000 gang members estimated here, as opposed to 20,000 in New York, which is a much bigger city. And most of these shootings that are taking place are gang crossfires. So the gang problem is central to this. So those are a couple of reasons for it. But it's a fundamental problem that we need to attack, and we need to attack it vigorously. It's heartbreaking to watch the news at night and see, you know, we've all seen Newtown, but people in Chicago, we experience this on a regular basis. We lost a beautiful 15-year-old girl last week, performed at the inauguration, who had everything to live for, who had all the promise in the world, simply standing there, got caught in a gang crossfire and lost her life. That is completely unacceptable. It's outrageous, and we've got to do something about it.
Hey, David, do you have a theory about why it is? That just kind of begs the question. The second thing you just said is obviously true, that the gang problem in Chicago is dramatically more severe than the gang problem in New York City or a lot of other big cities. So what's the difference there? Why is it that gangs flourish in Chicago but don't flourish in New York?
Well, I mean, again, I sort of delved into a little of the sociology of it. One of the things is that we organize ourselves by wards and parishes here in a way that's much more pronounced than other places, and so it lends itself to that kind of organization. Beyond that, I don't know, and I think it's something that is obviously central to solving this problem. One of the things that happened is there was an effort to put away the leaders of the gangs, and they put away some of these older gang leaders, and then younger gang leaders came into play, and that actually exacerbated the problem because they had less control and less, you know, I guess experience is what you would call it. But that's not to say that we shouldn't go after them. We should go after them. Federal government ought to go after them as well. The other problem that we should talk about is, you know, Joe, you talk a lot about the fiscal problems of the country, but they have really rolled downhill to local governments, and so the ability to hire adequate numbers of police has been limited. And, you know, this is, at the end of the day, there are a lot of elements to this problem, but part of it is it's a policing problem, and you need adequate manpower in these very, very violent neighborhoods.
Again, though, you have New York City, which obviously faces many of the same challenges fiscally. I mean, we do as a nation. We're in the same country, and that's why, I don't know, it seems to me that we've got to do a better job at figuring out the differences between Chicago, New York. Why? And again, the reason I keep bringing that up, John Heilman, I know you're next, and I want to pass this around. John, or Mark Halpern, New York City has had a record low number of murders this past year. At the same time that Chicago's having record highs. There has to be something Chicago can learn from Mayor Bloomberg.
One of the things they're learning and starting to implement, as I understand it, is more cops walking the beat. Not that they had none of it, but more cops like they do in New York. Community policing, cops on the ground in the same place, trying to get inside, as David said, the sociology of the particular local areas. David, I want to switch to deficit reduction and macroeconomics for what seems like years, because it has been. I've been telling Joe the president's going to get serious about entitlement reform as part of deficit reduction. Is 2013 the year?
By the way, he's been telling me that for 5 years, David.
Is 2013 the year the president does it? And if so, what standard should we use to judge how serious he's going to be about Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, other entitlements that need to be controlled?
Well, first of all, Mark, I don't know what you're talking about. I remember Mitt Romney running around the country last year attacking the president for cutting Medicare. The truth is that when he started down the road on health reform, one of the major motivations was to bend the cost curve on health care because of this inexorable rise in costs to the government as a result of Medicare. So he's committed to doing that, and he said that he will move forward on it, and he's been willing to negotiate on a number to move forward. And it's pretty obvious to me that the ultimate solution to this fiscal jam we're in is both entitlement reform and tax reform. Tax reform that produces revenue. And that is the reasonable center solution to all of this. Now, when you talk about entitlement reform, however, the measure shouldn't be how much pain do you inflict on people, how much do you take away from hardworking people across this country. People are going to have to make some sacrifices, but the goal should be to strengthen those programs so they're there for Americans when they retire.